Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Americans, I hope you're having a good Memorial Day weekend. The rest of us, well, I hope you're just having a good weekend. Um, let's see. So, I'm going to jump right into it today. I'm not exactly 100% sure what I'm going to be building again, but that's cool. Start with that shape. So, yeah, going to see Solo this afternoon, and which means I want to decrease stress on this one. Sorry, that's better. I made this. I was working something. Yeah, going to see Solo this afternoon. So I'm thinking another ship. Sounds cool to me. Not exactly sure what style yet, but I think I'd been doing it before, and again, all the concept art for the Corellian shipyards has really kind of made me super into it as well. So I think we're gonna do another like industrial style ship. So something that's made to build ships or be in a shipyard. And I think I'm gonna try just doing a little bit with this shape. I don't know what it's gonna be yet, but something like that is our base ship shape, which is kind of strange. But I'm thinking it's gonna be like a lifter. It's quick save, so we're good to start. Like a crane. There were a couple of ships concept arts I saw that I'm going to try not to rip off directly that were like crane ships, and I thought they were super cool looking. So let's just see if we can do something like that. We'll try to put our own spin on it and make it as cool as we can. Let's bring that in. So I'm just going to take that initial base shape. I'm going to have to clean it up, I think, and do a little bit to it to make it feel a little bit more like a ship and less like a bridge or whatever it was. But I like those side things. That's cool. This is going to be like our area where we lift stuff. And yeah, I think that's going to work cool as a base form. Let's make it bigger and try to tilt it out. Try to keep it flat. It's easy with the move tool to get things to kind of warp down a little bit, and you just got to watch out for that. Okay, go back to clay, and then before we do clay, let's see if we can smooth this down just a little bit, make it a little less jaggy. Super fast because we're very low res here. This is just our base form, but we can still make it huge. So, and we can keep it small, and hopefully it'll keep our poly count down to where we're manageable and we can do stuff. We've done pretty well with that recently. I'm pleased. So I'm gonna hope that we can continue to keep our poly count where we want it to be. So now I'm gonna kind of start throwing some shapes on here. I'm not entirely, screw that. First, create a new layer and up the res 1. I'm not entirely sure what my shape's gonna be. So we're kind of sketching as much as this is sketch designing. We don't have an idea in mind. We're not making a finished model, but we're gonna kind of, nope, bring things together. Ooh, no, let's try that again. Oh, I don't know why it's screwing us. Active layer only. Okay. Here we go. Just want to make it so that our shapes change a little bit and we get some visual interest to the form while we're doing this, and to keep us from getting lazy and, like I was saying yesterday, and just plopping in shapes as if that gave us everything we needed, because it doesn't. We want, whenever possible, to make a change, design something, make it feel designed, and then modify it as needed so that the design reflects what we want it to be, not what the reference was. We need to be in control, not the shape. Same thing with Photoshop custom brushes in the old days, right? Like, yeah, let's move that. Just easier, probably. Line it that way. Yeah, and maybe a little more. I'm gonna move it to there. Okay, good enough. And I think I might have tweaked that a little bit, but that's fine. Just to start giving us some of that industrial shapeage. I may actually set the move to my alternate tool on this thing. I don't use smooth all that often, but I jump back and forth to move constantly. Maybe I'll do that now. Let's see. So I think to do that, and then no, that. There we go. So now, yeah, there's my move tool. Sweet, awesome. So go find another shape, and I'm just kind of starting off here, trying to think of what we want things to be. Like that, and oh yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. I'm glad I got that. I don't think I actually want to do that, but I like having the ability to do that. That's cool. Maybe do that. All right. Yeah. Keeping it interesting. Need to fix this here. That's just way too blobby. Let's try going to continuous with the line tool. So if you're checking out my stream, at the advice of a friend of mine, I set up a slideshow in the side corner that shows some of my prior models that I've been building. And I think it's up there. Yeah, it should just be rotating through. So you can kind of see some of the stuff that I've been doing with this for the last month or so. It's actually not even a month. Those are like, I don't know, 2 weeks of work, because you do one of these every day and you start to get a lot of models. But hopefully it's cool. I'm actually really excited about it. I think it's neat to be able to have this much stuff, and then I can actually reuse them for other things if I need to, and it's pretty awesome. I'm quite happy about it. So let's see. Do I want this in a cross shape? How do I feel about that? Don't hate it, but let's see if I can do it a little smaller. No, it's too fast. So it's interesting with these, the stroke speed really matters. It'll blend, obviously, because it's in 3D space. The more you go over it, it fills in the holes before it. So if you go faster, you get more of the initial shape in there, which can be interesting. I got it turned up there, which I don't like. Let's bring it. There. Cool. That's a little bit weird, but let's see if we can even just single and then flip it in. Go, fill in the hole. Every once in a while, single's good. And we can even try, nope. Yeah, shrink it down a little bit. Yes, cool. All right, so top, front, need to fix that. That's very blobby still. And we need to make it more curvy and kind of like a TIE fighter, or we need to make it less curvy and feel more, I think it has intent. Let's go to a new layer. Increase the res. Paste that in. I want it on its own layer because now I can move it. Bring it out like that. It's kind of neat. I like that. Nothing on the backside there. And flip back. And do the same thing on this side. And rotate it into place. And maybe, no, don't want to do that. Too big. Shrink it down. Still too big. No. Let's see. So the front might actually be okay. It's a little bit stretched this way, isn't it? Yeah. There we go. And I might choose now smooth out a bit. Oh, we got a hole here we need to fill. New tool. This shape. Hole filled. Yeah, let's actually straighten it up a little bit though. To be more vertical. No, here, I'll get it. There we go. That's better. And I got to keep reminding myself, concept art, it doesn't have to be final model perfect. We're just coming up with ideas, things that will feel cool. Give it a bit higher. Make it a bit bigger. And maybe even reverse it. Yeah, here we go. It's got some big piss off spotlights there. That's cool. To make those spotlights, let's go and add a new layer. This will be our glass layer again. You've seen me do this before. Well, if you've watched, you've seen me do this before. If you've not watched, well, this is how I'm going to do a glass layer. So that's just inside there, and go back to the move tool. Position it relatively close to center. And this is its own layer now. I wish there was a way to lock layers, but let's rename it to glass and create a new layer and try to avoid using the glass layer again. If you guys are ever watching my videos and you want ideas at Medium, give me the ability to lock layers for the love of God, because I've screwed up so many times by not being able to do that. So we got that. It's the front of our ship, and it's really almost immaterial where the crew is going to be on this one. It's not going to feel like that because it's going to be one of those big background things that kind of flies over here and comes down and picks up something and flies over here. It's not at least in the script I am imagining right now, were this a script, it's not going to be a particularly important vehicle, but it's necessary to have for the plot. Like it's one of those, the world requires it, but it's not going to be a hero vehicle that players are jumping around, players or actors or whatever are jumping around in. So it needs to read right, but it doesn't have to have full functionality in terms of like, this is how you get into it, this is how you get out of it, because no, Han Solo is never going to go into this thing. So of course, in life logic, as soon as you say that, the director would come back and be like, we've had a script change and now they're going to escape from everything in this vehicle and you have to go and redo it. But that's fine too. I like those little plates there. That's nice. Upside down. Don't like that. I could erase it. Maybe let's try that. That's on layer 3. Yes. That and continuous, just to give me back my. There we go. And even here too. There we go. This makes it feel a little bit more designed and less blobby. We want to avoid the blob on this one. That looks good. Liking that. Let's see if we do the same thing here. Yeah, and maybe here. Yeah, it makes it feel way more intentional. Cut that. Yeah. Give some neat cut lines. And yeah, all right, cool. So now back to layer 5, avoiding the glass layer. And let's see what else we want to do to this sucker. In here, we want something. It's like that. We should probably turn the line tool or the constraint tool on. And there we go. Again, giving us that sense of designed and intent. That's critically important for this sort of thing. As long as it has intent, we will buy almost anything. As long as it looks like it has intent, we'll buy almost anything. So we need to make sure that it does. And it's got a single. I might need to go, let's go to a new layer and increase the res a bit. Still inside the ship, yep. Paste that there. And not too high. There. I wasn't expecting to go up the top like that, but all right, kind of neat. We might play with that later. Let's do the same here. I love that I use handlebars for this all the time, but they really work. So, so handlebars it is. And across there. Cool. Kind of feels good and liking it. This may be a fast one because we're not going to do not a lot of heroing to this thing. Let's fix that though. Go back to our, see if we can, this is on layer 1 even, right? Yeah. This is a pretty low res layer. So let's see if I can erase something out of it or if I'm going to have to make something new here. Does that work? That works. Yep. Okay. Did I go a little too far? Do I want a little less? No, I think it's okay. But we will now come back to this layer and fill back in with something. Sure. Just a different shape. No real reason. Like, odds are no one's ever going to see that ever. But I just think it's kind of a cool shape. Some of those come down, and that's how it kind of grabs things. Could be that those are part of the crane process to this thing. I'm gonna put those there just cause. Yeah, so where it looks underneath, and I'm good underneath, and I buy it, particularly once we add some texture map stuff. Looking good. I'm gonna make that a little more interesting now. Move tool. Drag it out. End it. Cool. And then I want something in here. Let's go with a different tool. Different shape. Just something like, I want something as simple as just like nubs sticking out. Nubs sticking out work for me. Why we have nubs sticking out, I don't know. So our engines, if those are engines, feel a bit weird, but again, Not too worried about it. Let's add some nubs sticking out there, and that just makes it feel more engine-y. So um, I don't know why that is, but to me, it might be my Lego days, but that makes anything feel like an engine. It kind of looks like a weird TIE fighter split down the middle. But it is feeling Star Warsy to me, actually, which is cool. More maybe than yesterday's, which I was really trying. I wanted it to feel Star Wars, but I don't necessarily think I got yesterday right, which is okay. That's why we redo all these things. And Star Wars is not an easy language to grab. Making something feels Star Wars like, I find anyway, not super easy. Okay, yeah, I like those. Gives us a little bit of edge versus curve. Um, let's see. I'm gonna do the same here. Put that there. Yeah, that's cool. And then maybe the same here, or maybe a little further over so that it ties in. Yeah, but not like that. That. Yeah, cool. Maybe a little something in here just to give it some Easter eggs. Couple little. There's our rivets going. Little rivet sort of things, honestly. Giant screws. Couple giant screws right there. But it just feels like an industrial shape, and it's the back. So we're mostly worrying about this from the front and the sides on this one right now. I mean, the advantage to doing this in 3D is like literally we can come in here, so we can be inside of our ship, and I like that. And I'm thinking I'll leave that open because maybe that is, if we had a hero moment, that's where the heroes could be. It would be like inside, looking out. So it'd be a cool place to put crew. And maybe like you got working people in here, and then it gets operated up there or wherever, um, or even over here. But that you could actually put a person there, and that might be kind of neat from an illustration perspective. Um, and if we're gonna do that, do we want to do some kind of like a something here? No, I'm not crazy about that curve is the problem, but I think it's okay. I don't hate it, but I'm not crazy about it. Is it layer 1? 2. Let's just go see if we can't. Continuous, erase it. Carve into it a little bit. Yeah, it's a little too much, but probably that's a little too much. But let's go to smooth and fill and shrink down to that. We filled that in. Fill that in. Oh yeah, cool. Now we fixed that in now. That just makes me happier. Cool. So we're gonna leave that kind of flat. I like those holes there, but we'll leave that flat. I'm just looking for areas that I might want to add a little bit more detail to without adding too much detail, because I don't want it to feel over busy, particularly at this stage. I can always make it busier with texturing, and it will feel busier with texturing. But I do want to give it enough places to catch light that the render feels interesting. There we go. Yeah, so a little bit of that, a little bit of that. I don't feel like that makes it too much busier, particularly since it'll be the same color later, but it will catch light now. And because that giant bolt sense. Like this thing is just literally bolted together. The ship is just designed to do its job, and it is not at all pretty, nor does it need to be, nor did anyone ever want it to be. It is just here to be functional. I'm getting crazy there. There's no reason for me to go inside here and do that because we're not ever going to see it. But nonetheless, he persisted. Cool. Yeah, so here is our like loader vehicle. So the concept would be it kind of comes in here, drops down on top of some kind of a, you know, shipping container, comes back up, carries it across, drops it off into the ship. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And there's no weapons because it doesn't need any. It's purely a functional vehicle. But it's reading pretty well as a functional vehicle. I really think it's maybe my favorite of the 3 I've done so far, which is cool. Let's save it. The eternal jinx, right? As soon as you're like, it's my favorite, your whole thing's going to crash. That's just what happens. Another dot there. Sure, and it's not sticking out, right? And then maybe another dot on the back. You could tell when an artist is having fun because they start doing that kind of little stuff. Up until that point, you're kind of like, whatever. But the more fun you're having with it, the more you tend to like throw a little bobble here and there on it. Kind of like those. I'm gonna leave them there. I wasn't sure before, like that was not an intent, but I do think it's cool. I'm gonna put another bob there, another there. So it's got all these like little rivets kind of everywhere, but that's kind of cool to me. And it does make it feel constructed. We'll leave the hole there. I like that, having an empty space. Yeah. Quick save. Let's see how we're looking for polys. It's only 4 mil. Yeah, piece of cake. Gonna export it. We're gonna say this one is feeling done. It was a fast build, but it works well underneath it. Like, so imagine you're like, POV shot, you look up, thing flies over your head. Yeah, that's reading for me. Establishing shot, things way back here in the background, just doing its little happy thing. Works well for me. Actor shot, you're in here, looking this way. That works well for me. I would call this a successful design. Well, given that it's a holiday weekend and you guys all have better things to do, and no one's probably here anyway, I'm going to call it done. Like I said, I've exported it. I will take it into KeyShot and give it some base textures and post it up on my Instagram. Thanks for watching. If you're on Twitch and watching, please subscribe. Otherwise, you're probably watching on YouTube, and I post these all up there every time, so my archive is there, and you can see, I think I have like over 1,200 minutes now of this stuff, so you can watch this for a goodly long time if you just want to hear me babble and make designs. I will be back again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and I hope you tune in, and I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.